It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I wanted to, continue the long tradition here on True School Sports of covering Japanese boxing, Japanese fighters from the American perspective. Y'all know I've talked countless times about the monster Naoya Inoue, and this will be no different. This will be a video about him because I thought it was really quite interesting what he said. Inoue actually was talking about where he feels he stands in the rankings of the great fighters of today. The pound for pound, so to speak. And he doesn't have himself number one. No, he does not. He actually has Terence Crawford number one. Naoya Inoue actually agrees with me, which is the fact that Crawford is pound for pound number one. So here's what Inoue said about Terence Crawford and the pound for pound number one ranking. He said, and I quote, "Terence Crawford is number one pound for pound, and I've reached a position where I'm compared to fighters like him every time I fight. I won Fighter of the Year, but honestly, I think number one pound for pound is probably even more important to my boxing career." End quote. So look, a little bit of humility being shown by the monster. Obviously, with his record and what he's accomplished in the sport, being a 4-division champion, multiple time undisputed, if he wanted to get up here and say, look, I'm the best fighter in the world and nobody can fuck with me, then he'd be well within his rights to say that. But he's showing some humility and he's giving Terence Crawford his just due. And look, he said this in the past. I've heard him say in the past that he feels that there's more he needs to do, there's more he needs to achieve, and I actually agree with him. I think I'm not one of these channels that downplays his resume. I think he's got a fantastic resume. I know he's fought a lot of fantastic fighters. He's been a very dominant fighter for a long time, just as long as Crawford. But I just think that the margins are so thin. I just think that if you look at their two undisputed performances, I think Terence Crawford's two undisputed performances against, Ndongo and Spence were just a little bit more dominant than Inoue's undisputed performances against Paul Butler and Marlon Tapales. But look, it's apples and oranges. You can't go on with either one. They're both great fighters. As far as what Inoue would need to do to probably really solidify himself, without a shadow of a doubt, as the best fighter in the world, he would have to go to 126. I think for me, I'm gonna really enjoy this year. I'm not gonna be too hard on Inoue unless he says anything crazy or something crazy happens. But I'm gonna enjoy his career this year for what it is. It's gonna be a year where he defends his belts at 122. He grows the Inoue brand. He has fights against guys like Merjan and Sam Goodman and Neri and these kind of guys. And I ain't mad at it. Good for him. Become the biggest name you can in the sport because it only benefits the sport, right? I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not gonna be mad at nothing he does this year. But when the time inevitably comes for me, what's gonna really and truthfully solidify him above a guy like Terence Crawford, is going to be what he does in the featherweight division. Because right now, 2024, as I've said many times, 2024 is the year of the featherweight division. It's a year where there's going to be a lot of fantastic, top level fighters in the featherweight division matching up with each other. Guys are going to win titles, unify, be in great fights, right? So it's going to be a hell of a time for the featherweight division. I do think that the featherweight division right now has an argument for being the deepest weight class in the entire sport of boxing. It's a great time for the division, right? So he's eventually going to move up, right? Right now, Top Rank, who helps co-promote in a way, they're in the midst of sorting out who's who. So you got Komatar versus Ford for the WBA title, Rhea A versus Venado Lopez for the IBF. They got Rafael Espinoza who has the WBO title. So there's that, and then you got you got the winner of Ray Vargas, Nick Ball, also in the full. But Top Rank has 3 of the 4 champions, or 2 of the 4 champions, potentially 3 if Odebek Komatar beats Ford, right? So, what Inoue does when he goes to 26, when he's fighting bigger guys, stronger guys, guys that can punch harder, guys that can push him back, guys that are maybe going to bring out more of the monster Inoue, the boxer, more so than the monster Inoue, the puncher. To me, what he does at featherweight will ultimately determine, if he's really and truthfully, by himself, the number one fighter in the world. If you got a number one right now, I ain't mad at that. There's been times in boxing where I thought Inoue was the number one fighter in the world. And people have argued with me that Inoue isn't the number one fighter in the world. So I can't begrudge or criticize anybody who has him number one pound for pound. But for me, the margins are like this thin. They're like this damn thin. The only fighters that are as dominant as Inoue and Crawford is Artur Beterbiev, because he's knocked everybody out he's fought. So if he continues doing what he's doing, he knocks out Bivol, and you look at his resume, and he's 21-0 with 21 knockouts, and he's undisputed, then maybe he has probably the best case of anybody not named Inoue or Crawford to pound for pound number one. But right now, at this moment in time, on February 12th, 6:53 Pacific time, I got Crawford number one. But Inoue, look, I like the fact that Inoue's thinking like this, because it keeps him in a state of mind of like, look, I haven't gotten to where I want to get to, so it keeps him getting better, and that can only make for the best monster Inoue moving forward. So we'll see what he does moving forward. But what do you guys think? Like, do you guys think he's just being humble, or do you guys think he really believes that Crawford is number one? You guys let me know in the comments down below. Where do you rank the monster Naoya Inoue? Do you have him currently as the number one fighter in the world? And if you do, kindly, without insulting me, right? If you don't agree with me, kindly let me know in the comments down below. I'll definitely be reading your comments. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just Kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure to subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.